The video you're about to see contains spoilers from Netflix's original series, The Cuphead Show. If you have not seen The Cuphead Show, I ask that you please click off this video and only watch at your own risk. Once they get into the cookie factory, my girl, Miss Chalice, had the audacity to pull a "Bye, Felicia" as soon as the cops showed up at the cookie factory and just dips the fuck out. What's up, Cosmonauts? It's your boy Cosmo, and yesterday was the premiere of Netflix's original series, The Cuphead Show, and today I'm going to be giving my honest opinions and honest review on the show. But before we get into that, I want to put a second disclaimer. For those that have not watched The Cuphead Show, I strongly advise you to please click off of this video, as this video will contain spoilers from The Cuphead Show. So if you haven't seen it, please click off of this video, and do not get mad at me if I spoil anything. That is why I'm letting you know twice before we get into my reviews. Without further ado, let's do this. Okay, so yesterday, your boy has spent the last 5 hours rewatching The Cuphead Show. I watched it once. The entire batch lasted about, I want to say, over 2 hours. So since I watched it twice, therefore that makes it 5 hours of consuming The Cuphead Show. And let me tell you guys, it was definitely worth the wait. Most definitely worth the wait. Now, does it follow the game Cuphead exactly? No, absolutely not. Look at the show Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That show doesn't follow exactly how the Super Mario franchise does, but I still watch it because I love Mario. And besides, if these shows followed just exactly every single detail of these video games, there'd be nothing special about it. You already know what to expect. You'll be like, oh, okay, well, we already know about this. We already know about that. There's nothing special about it. Blah, 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 blah. Now, let's go into details of every single episode there is. There's supposed to be a total of 12, but I want to say they last either 10 to 12 minutes. I'm not exactly sure, but first off, episode 1, Carnival. Now, in the game, Cuphead was playing craps, but in the Carnival episode, we have Cuphead playing Soul Ball. That is quite different from the game. That Carnival kind of gives me Inkwell Isle 2 vibes. And to be quite honest, Beppy is one of my favorite bosses in the game, and I am so mad that Beppy the Clown didn't make some type of cameo in the episode or anything like that. Come on, why y'all gotta sleep on Beppy the Clown? I don't like fucking clowns, but Beppy is an exception. I don't know what it is about Beppy. So the devil spies on the boys playing Soul Ball, especially Cuphead, being all disgusted about how he's being a show-off. Devil appears out of nowhere. Mugman tries to warn Cuphead and accidentally makes him lose in Soul Ball, which unfortunately means that Cuphead has still yet to owe the devil his soul. And as per usual, Cuphead has the audacity to go, I ain't too worried about it. What? I wonder if that's gonna be his catchphrase. Whenever Mugman is getting himself woiked up over nothing. But I said woiked because I do love their cute little New York accents. Is it just me, or does almost everybody in the show have New York accents? Please, guys, remind me when I go to a carnival, don't be asking me to play a game of skee ball, or as they would call it, soul ball. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do happen to be a master at skee ball. That was one of my favorite arcade games. I sure as hell would not want to play skee ball by wagering my own soul to the devil. Next up, Baby Bottle. So, that episode right there kind of gives me some vibes from the movie Little Man. But only this time, we ain't got some dwarf trying to scam the family by trying to retrieve some type of diamond that was worth over $100,000. Someone left a baby on the doorstep, but which is no ordinary baby. Baby just decides to wreck the furniture, break down the walls, set shit on fire. Cuphead and Mugman were trying to do everything to stop the baby from bringing down the property value of Elder Kettles' teacup house. And most importantly, his most prized possession, the radio. That was the only thing that Cuphead and Mugman were afraid of accidentally breaking. Everything else, they didn't give a shit. Same thing with Elder Kettle when he came home from his weekly mustache waxing. Now that the baby just literally ripped off Elder Kettles' mustache from his face, he ain't gotta worry about his weekly mustache waxing. So they might as well be monthly or quarterly mustache waxing. So forget Nair. Let that baby wax your mustache for you, and you won't have to go to the waxing clinic for the next 3 months or so. So then Cuphead, Mugman, and Elder Kettle leave the same exact baby on somebody else's doorstep. So we already know everybody's gonna be passing the baby from one house to another. You're just gonna have the whole neighborhood passing that so-called baby. God, man, I don't ever want kids. Deep down inside, I'm still a kid myself, even though I'm only 24 years old. In here, I'm still a 12-year-old kid. Episode 3, Ribby and Croaks. Okay. We got an episode about one of the bosses from the actual game. And it's got the same setting, such as the boat, Ribby and Croaks themselves. The music was playing in the background from Ribby and Croaks' level. I already noticed that. And I do find it quite interesting how the brotherly relationship between Ribby and Croaks is similar to Cuphead and Mugman's. They're always fighting, they're always being mad over each other at some stupid shit, possibly the smallest shit in the world. But at the end of the day, they all love each other, and it's just brotherly love. Episode 4, Handle with Care. Oh, jeez. Them boys are growing up so fast. They grow up so fast. So, Mugman accidentally broke his own handle while he and his brother Cuphead were having a blindfolded pillow fight upon Mugman's request, according to Cuphead. Fortunately, that didn't go as planned. Mugman was freaking the fuck out because his handle broke. Cuphead was doing his absolute best to try and fix it for him. My man used tape, he used his own saliva, he used honey from a beehive that belonged to a bear, and none of that shit worked. So they go into Porkrind's workshop. So I take it Porkrind is gonna be a recurring character in the game. In the show, I mean. That's interesting. Okay. Surprised that they didn't make him say, welcome. And then Elder Kettle gave, Mugman the talk. And that when your handle falls off or breaks off when you're a mug or a cup, tea kettle, you get a special visit from the handle fairy, and that you should be growing a man handle. But unbeknownst to the boys, Elder Kettle was the one who glued back Cuphead and Mugman's handles. That's the sad reality behind Tooth Fairies, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, you name it. Episode 5, Roll the Dice. We finally get to see the first very appearance of King Dice himself. But instead of him being a casino manager, he appears as a game show host. And ironically, the voice of King Dice is Wayne Brady, who also happens to be a game show host. I don't know much about Wayne Brady, but I just heard that he is some type of game show host for this one game show. I don't remember what it was about. That's how you know I'm too young to know about these game shows and game show hosts and all that jazz. So instead of Dice owning and operating his own casino, he hosts his own game show called Roll the Dice. And one thing I've always wondered, I've been asking myself this for quite a while. I saw one clip of King Dice calling the devil. Now this was before the show premiered. There was this one clip where King Dice calls the devil, letting him know that he had Cuphead right where he want him, and that he'll send over to him and have the devil steal his soul. And my question is, do Dice and the devil have a little something something going on? Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I totally ship them, and I can see the chemistry between the two, but that's mostly just headcanon, and I like headcanon. I don't know, the chemistry between them and how they were speaking to each other, talking about how it's your number one, Colin. Oh, this is why you're my number one. If they were, headcanon wise, I take it Dice is the bottom and the devil would be the top. But unfortunately, that seems to be the only episode right now where King Dice makes an appearance. Is King Dice gonna appear in more episodes, or is it just gonna be that one? I would be so disappointed if King Dice is only gonna appear in that episode. I really hope they make King Dice a recurring character, because I want to know what happens to King Dice after the devil fires him from being the host of his own game show. Does King Dice is King Dice living out in the streets? Is he in poverty? Is he on welfare? Is he selling foot pics to people now? Is he doing Uber Eats or DoorDash? Well, what's going on with King Dice? I would hate to be King Dice right now. My man has no choice but to sell himself out there. Chase the bag somehow. I don't know. Do whatever you gotta do, Dicey. Episode 6. Ghosts Ain't Real. I don't really have to say much about that episode. It was just Cuphead and Mugman walking through the graveyard after watching some type of zombie movie. Cuphead convinces Mugman that there ain't no such thing as ghosts ain't real, and the ghosts themselves call bullshit on that, and then they fuck with the boys left, right, and center. I'm not sure what made them walk through the graveyard after leaving the movie theater, but you know, it is what it is. I don't like cemeteries. I don't like nighttime. I don't like dark, scary shit. I'm a wuss when it comes to scary shit, dark shit in general. So you sure as hell wouldn't find me in a cemetery after watching some scary ass movie, and I don't even like scary movies. I'm a bitch when it comes to that shit. Number 7, Root Pact. Ooh, yet another episode that's revolved around one of the bosses in the game. I wonder if they're gonna do more episodes where the theme is revolved around certain bosses in certain episodes, if that makes any sense. I wonder what next episode they're gonna do that involves one of the bosses. We got the entire Root Pack in there. I don't know their names exactly, but we got the carrot, we got the potato, and the onion. Now, one thing that hasn't changed about the Root Pack is that I think the onion's name is Ollie. Don't quote me on that. One thing that hasn't changed about Ollie the Onion is that he's still a crybaby, he's still emotional, but only this time he peels after he cries, and then he starts to smell like shit, starts stanking up the place, and then that makes everybody cry, and then turns into a whole sob story. Low-key, I do find Ollie the Onion the cutest. I would say he's one of my favorite bosses in the game. I think out of all of them, he's the most harmless one. And I hate to see the little guy cry. Alright, now these next 2 episodes are a continuation. We got 8 and 9, Sweater Off Dead, and Sweater Luck Next Time. So, apparently Cuphead and Mugman are still stressed about Cuphead owing his soul to the devil, and Cuphead was having nightmares about the devil. So Mugman takes him to I don't want to butcher his name. I feel like I'm gonna, but I think it's Quadratus or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. Mugman is forced to make him an invisible sweater that apparently is repellent against the devil from stealing his soul. And SpongeBob has said it best. The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. But we don't know for sure if the sweater that Cuphead was forced to wear for the sake of keeping his soul safe from the devil. We don't know for sure if it's striped. So then Mugman has ordered Cuphead to keep the sweater on no matter how badly Cuphead is sweating to death, sweating bullets, buckets, and it don't matter if it's 100 degrees out there, 120. Cuphead was asked to keep the sweater on from having his soul taken from the devil. The devil ain't a quitter. I'll give him that. He's got some dedication trying to get Cuphead's soul, despite him being electrocuted. And in the second part, Cuphead and Mugman go to this new ride. I don't remember what it's called because it's such a long ass name, but I do remember it starts with an O, and apparently it goes so fast that it'll rip the clothes out of you. So Cuphead made a deal with the devil that if he painted their fence, Cuphead will give up the sweater to the devil. And while the devil was painting the fence telekinetically, which by the way, I wouldn't want to have telekinesis as my superpower. If I had one superpower, it would definitely be telekinesis. So as the devil was painting the fence, Cuphead and Mugman dip and go on that new ride, but the line was hella long, and somehow the devil tracked their steps with a bunch of white paint that led to the carnival / amusement park. But little does the devil know that Cuphead isn't wearing the sweater, considering it was invisible. So Mugman had to go all the way back to his house just to find that invisible sweater. And whilst he was doing that, the line was getting shorter and it was almost time for Cuphead and the devil to go on that ride. And unfortunately, the devil put his hand on Cuphead, doing it multiple times, trying to make sure that he doesn't get electrocuted, and that's when he finds out Cuphead isn't wearing the sweater. And just in the nick of time, Mugman returns with the invisible sweater and forces it on the devil and gets electrocuted to death. So bad that it almost looks like he's wearing a shirt. Episode 10, Dangerous Mugman. So, apparently, according to Porkrind, Mugman is not about that thug life. And what I mean by thug life is he ain't about living on life on the edge, being dangerous, and Mugman took offense that he is not as dangerous as Cuphead. That being said, Porkrind sends the boys over to do a dangerous mission for them, for which they thought that they had to climb all the way up to, literally all the way up to Mount Eruptus. But little did they know that he actually sent the boys to Mount Eruptus dry cleaning. They thought that they had to climb up Mount Eruptus just to prove that Mugman is as dangerous as he claims. So Cuphead makes Mugman wear these special goggles that give him some type of confidence, and after putting them on, Mugman becomes a whole different guy after wearing them. Somehow he loses them after being drowned underwater, but Cuphead doesn't say anything to him. But Mugman still doesn't know that he had the goggles. He didn't have the goggles on the whole time, but still remains confident. Probably way more than Cuphead ever will. But instead of Mugman being pissed at Cuphead for not telling him, he is proud of himself that he was able to do all that bravery bullshit that he normally wouldn't do without the goggles. So then they make it back, they bring an egg to Porkrind, and that's when Porkrind tells them that instead of climbing up Mount Eruptus, he's actually sent them to Mount Eruptus for dry cleanings. And in the very end, Grim Matchstick makes an appearance at the very end of the episode before Porkrind gets burnt into a crisp and says, "Oh, I hate those cups." And is it just me, or does Grim Matchstick look exactly like his form in the game episode 11, Dirt Nap? So apparently we find out that Elder Kettle was once a war hero. Okay, Elder Kettle, I see you. Yes, sir, I see you. Thank you for your service. Cuphead and Mugman were talking about how dirty, old that he's getting. And by him, I mean their pet worm. But Elder Kettle must have thought they were talking about how he's old and dirty. But little did Elder Kettle know that they were actually referring to their pet worm, and that they were gonna bury him and put him out of his misery and blah 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 blah. And in Elder Kettle's mind, he seems to think that Cuphead and Mugman are gonna murder him, but that wasn't the case. They just wanted to bury their pet worm. But shortly after they buried their pet worm just needed some fresh soil and then was brought back to life. But here's the question. If Elder Kettle somehow passes away due to natural causes, how are Cuphead and Mugman gonna take over the household? Aren't they still little kids, or if not, adolescent? I don't know. Cuphead and Mugman are gonna have to get jobs at such a young age just to take over Elder Kettle's place if he happens to pass away much sooner than anticipated. And last but not least, the final episode of the batch, In Charm's Way. We finally get to see Miss Chalice. But in the very beginning, Cuphead and Mugman were trying to do all they can just to get cookies from the cookie jar. And then one of them accidentally stepped on the Elder Kettle's glasses. Elder Kettle was trying to look for them, and he was as blind as a bat. And then Cuphead and Mugman made decoys that looked like them, but because Elder Kettle's blind as a bat, he won't be able to tell the difference and assumes that it's them. And they went over to go and fix Elder Kettle's glasses, and then that's when they come across Miss Chalice dancing like a maniac. Being the simps that they supposedly are, they follow her, and somehow she figures out that they've been following her the whole time. Just when they thought that they were gonna get their first douse of puh at such a young age, at what, 10, maybe 12? I don't know how old the boys are. And so Cuphead, being the ringleader, as we all already know, he lies to Miss Chalice about how he's a natural of charming people into getting what you want, saying how he's a natural at that shit, thinking that he's gonna try and get a little something something from Miss Chalice. Chalice puts the boys up to the test. She ordered them to charm their way into a cookie factory. And once they get into the cookie factory, my girl, Miss Chalice, had the audacity to pull a "Bye, Felicia" as soon as the cops showed up at the cookie factory, and just dips the fuck out and goes into her spirit mode. Now the boys are in jail for something that they did not do, and they have been framed.
I said, hey man, I've been framed. Hey, no, really, man, I was framed. I never do nothing wrong, man. But every time I get the blame, I've been framed.
Damn, Miss Chalice, you really gotta do my boys dirty like that? For real. I would have thought Miss Chalice would be the gal pal. Now, me being a young gay male, I would have thought Miss Chalice would be the girl that I would have coffee with at Starbucks, go clothes shopping at the mall, having sleepovers and watching movies, eating popcorn, and talking about how cute and adorable Chad is. She did them dirty like that. And Miss Chalice is a lot nicer in the game than she is in the show. And I already have so many questions on what the next batch of episodes are gonna be like. Such as, are we gonna see Miss Chalice again? After she just dipped out on the boys like that, will the boys get out of prison? Will we see King Dice again? Is there a little something going on with Dice and the devil? Low key. Will there be more episodes revolving around more bosses in the game? Will Elder Kettle get his glasses fixed? And is the devil gonna come back to take Cuphead's soul after being electrocuted to death by that sweat? I don't know. The questions are endless. Anyways, guys, if you've watched the Cuphead show and you want to give your thoughts and opinions about it, let's talk in the comments down below. I'll be reading comments. With all that being said, I loved the Cuphead show. Until the next batch of episodes do come out to Netflix, I'm going to be binge watching the shit out of that show. Popcorn, snacks, candy, and everything. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and peace. Also, don't be playing skee ball by wagering your own soul to the devil.